The United States is still searching for a country to lead an international security force into Haiti at the behest of interim Prime Minister Ariel Henri, while Canada is reinforcing its hands-off approach. CBC reports Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as saying this week that, quote, with 30 years of experience in Haiti, we know that there are enormous challenges when it comes to interventions. It is clear that our approach has to change this time. Instead of troops, Canada is committing to more armored vehicles and technical assistance for the Haitian National Police and more sanctions. Apart from former President Michel Martelly and two former prime ministers, Canada has imposed sanctions on Haiti's richest man, billionaire Gilbert Biggio, as well as Sharif Abdallah and Reynold Deeb, other members of the country's elite 15 families. These three men are accused of using their staggering wealth to, quote, protect and enable the illegal activities of the armed criminal gangs that currently operate with impunity across swaths of the country. Some believe that private ports operated by some of these elite families are the conduits through which gangs in the country obtain much of their weaponry. The weaponry, it is thought, flows into Haiti from connections in Miami, and Canada is reportedly attempting to bring some pressure to bear in the US to do something to close off the supply. Whoever is supplying or funding them, gangs continue to ensure that daily life in Haiti is full of fear and misery for many. Ulrika Richardson, who holds several senior roles at the United Nations Special Integrated Office in Haiti, estimated at the beginning of the month that gangs controlled about 60% of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, and that 19,000 of the approximately 20,000 people in the country who are facing catastrophic food insecurity are in the capital, concentrated in the Cité Soleil neighborhood. Jean-Martin Bauer, head of the World Food Program in Haiti, recently said that because key transport routes in the country are under the control of the criminal gangs, Haiti's population could experience famine conditions if a coordinated humanitarian aid plan is not put in place with urgency. Gang control of Haiti's road network, Bauer said, quote, cut off communities from both the farms that feed them and from essential humanitarian aid. Gang activity is so threatening to the lives and the security of many Haitians that some are now protesting for the intervention of a foreign security force. On Tuesday, people thronged the U.S. naval ship Comfort, the hospital ship that arrived in the port of Jeremy on Monday. Local press outlet Radio Telegalaxy reported protesters as saying, instead of health care, they wanted the U.S. to deploy soldiers instead to fight the armed gangs. Apart from the protests, the ship suffered an early setback as 19 people were tossed overboard and 2 injured on Monday night as they returned to the vessel after treating patients dockside. Rough seas precluded the 12 sailors and 7 civilians from the normal process of using a water taxi to get to the ship and then a ladder to climb aboard, and thus an attempt was made to use a crane to lift the entire small boat out of the water instead. The incident caused healthcare services to be suspended briefly before the Comfort returned to normal operations on Wednesday. Meanwhile, as the international community figures out exactly how to shape their assistance and possible intervention into Haiti, the broad cross-section of civil society known as the Commission for a Search to a Haitian Solution to the Crisis continues to call for the withdrawal of support for Ariel Henri, the unelected prime minister that was nominated by President Jovenel Moïse shortly before his assassination. The commission, a coalition of civil, religious, and political groups, came together shortly after the president was assassinated. In August 2021, they agreed on an approach called the Montana Accord, which laid out a plan for the installation of a provisional government which would immediately begin working towards readying the country for years overdue general elections. When representatives from the Montana Accord Secretariat met with the Canadian delegation on December 8th, they declared their support for the strategy of helping increase the capacity of the Haitian National Police to fight the gangs and firmly rejected the notion of a foreign military intervention. In a French-language communique issued to the public on December 10th on their social media platforms, the Montana Accord representatives accused the international community of systematically opposing the wish of the majority of Haitian civil society for a Haitian-led solution to the crisis. Quote, strengthening national security institutions is the only way to sustainably resolve the problem of insecurity, the statement said in French. The statement also points out that Prime Minister Henri, since his installation, has never commanded the express support of broad Haitian society, and that his rule without a functioning legislature in no way comports with the country's laws or constitution. Henri's continuing hold on power, they say, is contributing to the aggravation of Haiti's political and security crisis. As support for Henri's requested military intervention continues to remain less than lukewarm, it seems likely that others in the international forum may agree. But if intervention is off the cards, what is the immediate solution to Haiti's crisis? The longer a concrete plan takes to come together, the longer everyday Haitians will continue to suffer.